So Star Wars Outlaws has officially been released by Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment today, and surprise, surprise, it is dead on arrival. At least it appears to be, because what I'm seeing here on Twitch and in the market is a diminishing interest in this game, both from investors and people watching it on Twitch. I remember when the early access was released to players worldwide who pre-ordered the game, and the viewer count was up to like 115,000. There were a lot of people watching it, but I think that much of this was because of big-time streamers taking interest in this game and trying to stream it. At least 2/3, maybe even more, of the people that were watching on the 27th are not watching anymore. And though I do see many of the same streamers who have been playing it for the past few days, I'm also seeing that their viewership has been cut nearly in half for many of these streamers. This one is fluctuating quite a bit, but the total viewership at 27.1 thousand, that is fluctuating. It's fluctuating between like 25 to 27,000. It's not looking good. People are either losing interest in this game, they never had interest in the first place and just wanted to see what it looked like initially, or they were completely turned off to this game because of the nonsense that Ubisoft is constantly shoving in people's faces. Early Star Wars Outlaws PS5 players paid $110 only to have Ubisoft issue a new patch and tell them to start a new save file or face game-breaking bugs. I feel like nothing more has to be said in this article from Games Radar. They've broken it down perfectly. If you pre-ordered this game for $110 on PS5, because specifically this is a PS5 update issue, you're going to be met with a harsh reality. All of that progress that you spent accumulating over the past few days because you ordered this game early is going to be deleted outright, because if you continue playing it, the game is going to glitch out and break on you. Of course, Ubisoft says sorry big time. Our bad. This quadruple A title with a bunch of game-breaking glitches now has a brand new game-breaking bug. You can't play your current save file. You're going to have to start all over. So imagine going onto Twitch and seeing all of your favorite streamers playing this on PS5, only to be slapped with the reality that all of that time you spent watching them was a complete waste of your time, and now you're going to have to start all over with them as they go through the entire game all over again. It's really interesting to see Ubisoft treating their most loyal customers this way, and it's always the most loyal customers that seem to get the biggest shaft at the end of the day. The most loyal customers who fork over a crap ton of cash now have to face the players who don't and say, you were right, you told us so, but we didn't listen. Seriously, how incompetent do you have to be to issue out a new update that completely destroys the original save files that people have been working so hard on? That's just crazy. That on top of the fact that this game is surrounded in all types of different controversies, ranging from Reddit bannings to gameplay glitches that Asmongold himself is calling out. This video right here blew up. It's only 2 minutes long, and it's Asmongold playing the game and showing off a couple of the glitches that he had to deal with. Just see for yourself how awful this game is.
I'm gonna execute.
Alright, so he knocks a guy out and hides him in the bush. Now he's hiding in the bush too, but the guards see him. Now they're walking towards him because the AI in this game absolutely blows. She slaps the dude on the ear and then gently lays him down. So these AI are responding so poorly to everything that he is doing. They're drawing the attention of other AI who are calling them over to Asmongold. And he's basically just given up at this point. Goes back and hides in the bush.
We're pinned down.
Now they're just shooting at the bush. This is just awful. It's just shaking. He's shaking.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's, I mean, this is the game.
Okay.
The AI they just surround you. 5 or 6 different NPCs will surround you. Your sneak mechanic completely fails. You've been caught. You can punch people, or you can just sit there. One of them will fire at you at a time. This is Ubisoft in 2024.
All right.
This is just one example of many that have popped up over the past few days. Early access did nothing for this game because the people who bought into it and the people who invested in the company because of it appear to have already dipped out. They had their 15 minutes of glory with Ubisoft and they're like, see ya, we've had enough of this game. And I'm sure many people already have, but this is day one. And already you've got Asmongold saying things like this.
I don't think that there's a single thing about this game that I find appealing.
There you have it, guys. What more consensus do you need? You have some of the biggest streamers, the biggest YouTubers out there, the biggest gamers in existence saying that this game is a failure. Even the people who have been pining for it for months or maybe even years, such as Matty Plays and other gamers like him, are turned off to Ubisoft's newest title. Even GameRanks with Before You Buy is recommending that you wait for a sale before spending your hard-earned cash on this. That means no pre-order, no $110. That's already been proven to be a complete waste of people's money anyway. And the people in the comments are just helping to roast this game. They all hate it. They're saying the game is okay, nothing special, just okay. Ubisoft says nailed it because their bar of quality is not that high, obviously, ha ha ha. So the consensus right now, even though Metacritic has a 77, is largely negative, at least from people who communicate on the internet, which means that it's safe to suggest at this point that the marketing campaign for Star Wars Outlaws has failed, despite their vows that it would be the biggest marketing campaign ever, as per PSU here. Star Wars Outlaws has the highest marketing budget of any Ubisoft title to date. Yves Guillemot was responding to the suggestions that Ubisoft had set its expectations for Star Wars Outlaws somewhat lower than investors were anticipating, and if it was being conservative with its guidance for the title. His reply, "What we are factoring in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws. That's the fact that it's among the most awaited game of the industry this year, and reflecting a really strong positive community sentiment, and also the fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for a Ubisoft game." Well, from what I'm seeing, the only people who are marketing this game effectively are people like Asmongold, and his marketing strategy is a 2-minute clip making fun of you that has amassed almost 900,000 viewers in only 15 hours. So you tell me how successful your marketing campaign is when it appears from everything that I have been seeing and from what gamers have been posting on social media everywhere that your game is an outright disaster, and the people playing it have either given it a chance and have grown tired of it or hated it after only trying it one time. But it gets even worse from here, my friends, because even investors are walking away from this title and from the company. It doesn't even matter that a handful of firms recommended that people buy it. Some people did buy into it, but they did something pretty terrifying with it, at least terrifying in Ubisoft's eyes, and we'll go over that in just a second, but read this along with me. Shares of Ubisoft Entertainment have been assigned a consensus rating of moderate buy from the 6 research firms that are presently covering the company. Market Beat Rating reports 2 analysts have rated the stock with a hold recommendation and 4 have given a buy recommendation to the company. So these research firms took a look at all of their people that they were surveying for, and they said, hey, this is a good buy. I can see some good numbers in Ubisoft's future. This may be the best recommended purchase of your life. You won't regret it, I promise. And guess what day this was on? This was on August 27th, so the day that Ubisoft released early access to players who pre-ordered the game. What this site asks is, should you invest $1,000 in Ubisoft Entertainment right now? And they say that MarketBeat keeps track of Wall Street's top-rated and best-performing research analysts and the stocks they recommend to their clients on a daily basis. MarketBeat has identified the 5 stocks that top analysts are quietly whispering to their clients to buy now before the broader market catches on. And guess what? Ubisoft Entertainment was not on that list. So even though they're saying, hey, this is a recommended buy, Ubisoft is not one of those 5 stocks that are predicted to make massive amounts of money. And from the evidence that you can see on Google Finance, that buy-in recommendation did absolutely nothing for the company, because on the 27th, the value for Ubisoft Entertainment went up about 50 cents as the early access was released. They're like, hey, this game is going to take off because everyone's going to love Star Wars Outlaws, and they bought in. But about half an hour after people started buying in and bringing that candle all the way up, people started to realize that this thing was not making good on its promise. So people started to sell off. Now, they did try to make it recover, but then they started selling off again. And then what you see is a gradual sell-off session where people are giving up on Ubisoft, getting rid of their stocks, and then on the day that this game releases, you see absolutely no progress. It has not recovered from that number. Now, the people who see this will say, oh, well, this game was a huge success because look how far up this value went. But you guys know me, I'm always looking at the bigger picture. So if you look at the 1-month chart, But this is not that big of a change from where it used to be back in August 5th. It did drop on July 31st and apparently just has not recovered since that time. But it gets even worse when you go back in time. And I've referred to these charts in my past videos to show you just how much faith people have lost in Ubisoft as a company. It gets worse from here. Even though this looks like the Grand Canyon of dips, it gets even worse. The year to date, down even more. 1 year, yep, gets even worse. And then 5 years, even worse. But the max paints the entire picture for you. This company has been failing ever since 2018. They reached their peak. The value is down to 17.19. And that's about where they started. It doesn't matter what Ubisoft does or what kind of marketing strategy they put in place, how much money they spend on it, or how many keys they give out to streamers. It doesn't matter. The game is failing from what people are saying and from what the charts are showing. But I think the funniest part about all this is that the market predicted that this game would fail on launch day. As per market screener right here, they say Ubisoft share price struggling. UBS remains on the sell side. Ubisoft was one of the biggest decliners on the SBF 120 on Thursday morning on the Paris Bourse. I don't know if I pronounced that right, following a negative recommendation from UBS, which reduced its target price for the stock. Around 10:45 a.m., the video game specialist share price was down by around 1%. They go on to say that the intermediary considers the stock's risk-return profile to be unfavorably oriented and explains that it fears a downward revision of consensus forecasts. So they're expecting a downtrend going forward, even though this video game from them just released. And this is a big IP. It's Star Wars. So this is supposed to be huge. But everyone's predicting that this game is going to fail and that the company is going to suffer financially from it. They say, despite the positive reviews of its latest title, this is going to happen. Quote, while it's true that Star Wars Outlaws has received a generally favorable reception with a score of 77 on Metacritic, this performance is in line with the group's previous games, observes UBS. So they said that this game is going to do just about as well as their previous games, but maybe even worse because they're expecting a downtrend. But that really is sad when you think about it, that Ubisoft has not been able to evolve from their failing formula for a number of years now. And it seems that even though they have one of the biggest IPs at their disposal and they've released one of the biggest titles they've ever made, its reception and the marketing campaign that they spent millions on has not done them any favors. And at this point, it's safe to say that this game is dead on arrival. Now, it could prove me wrong when we actually see the sales numbers. I think we'll have a better idea then. Of course, there are rumors circulating, which we'll get into in just a second. But they highlight in red here at the end that they don't see an indication of an improvement in product quality. But let's hop over to That Park Place, who pointed out one of the newest controversies that this game is rattled by. Star Wars Outlaws subreddit reportedly bans users for criticizing Ubisoft's games. So, how many times have we seen this on other subreddits for video games that are not doing well, reception-wise or sales-wise? Way too many times, right? But it seems that process is repeating once again because they're banning people, allegedly, from the subreddit. There was a user who pointed this out, Ugly Coyote. He explained, I asked them with no reply when I asked for the moderator name who banned me and was muted for 7 days, so he questioned the subreddit, saying, LOL, look at the insults he wrote, and I'm disrespectful in what way? I effing didn't say anything disrespectful. I only questioned his say of thinking and age. Since when is this disrespectful? Right now, as told before we are making an investigative report about mods abusing their power to steer narratives and influence people, also about silencing critics and selectively deleting a censoring post. But here's the thing about Reddit moderators. They have a bad habit of banning people who simply criticize the game negatively or criticize them. If you make any kind of accusation, if you make any kind of suggestion, these people ban you. It doesn't happen all of the time, but it is a growing problem in subreddits, at least from what I've seen in the past few months. Maybe even the past couple of years. Ugly Coyote also informed That Park Place that the moderators on the subreddit were deleting a number of posts criticizing the game. He said, there were a lot of posts deleted on Star Wars Outlaws Reddit, and me and a friend replied to those posts also voicing criticism about graphics, performance, and so on. So my friend then posted about censoring posts and was banned for posting non-related topic toxic comments for, I think, 3 days or so. That's an insane amount of time to ban him. You can't talk about it? Well, I don't know about you, but I don't think this helps their marketing strategy much. It's already a failing strategy without this, but banning people from conversations always goes swimmingly, doesn't it? Yes, it certainly does. In that deleted post, many said their friends got banned also. I got banned when I questioned the age of a user and his beliefs by stating that he blindly believes propaganda and described the critical parts of the game like performance. Here's the thing. If you present your argument in any kind of accusatory way, that is when you cross the line with these people, and that's when you'll be removed. That being said, they can say whatever they please. It's you, the customer, the people who are actually paying for and playing this game, who cannot say anything. Rumor, Assassin's Creed Shadows pre-orders less than 800 units from national chain, with over 900 stores, and I remember this post from Stuttering Craig where he said, "My insider told me that as of this morning at their nationwide big box chain, Assassin's Creed Shadows has less than 800 pre-orders combined for Xbox and PS5 company-wide. They have over 900 stores. That is less than one pre-order per store. Yikes." Now, I'd like to reiterate that this is a rumor, but Craig is good with his word, as I've seen in the past. I know a lot of people respect him. So what does this tell us? Well, take a look at the stocks. Take a look at how many people are watching it on Twitch as opposed to the 27th. They've dropped about 60 or 70,000 viewers since then. And even a couple of hours into the release of this game, Twitch is still struggling to accumulate viewers. I'm actually going to refresh it right here so that you can see if it's gone up from 27,000. And no, it has not. It has gone down to 26,000 again. As I said, it's been fluctuating all morning, and this is the big release day. Now, I'm not going to pretend that another big streamer won't come in and bump this number up about 20 or 30 more thousand, but this game is going to have diminishing returns. Once these big-time streamers beat this game, and then they drop it, you're going to see far less people watching this game as time goes on. So what is it? Have people just lost faith in Ubisoft completely? Are they not interested in this game? Have enough people voted with their wallets to make an impact on Ubisoft's sales and stock prices? Well, investors are already walking away. They have not invested in this company since the release of this game officially as of today. They're not dumping dollars into the stocks like they did on the 27th. I wonder why that is. Well, it could have a lot to do with the save file fiasco. I'm sure a lot of people are turned off to the idea of starting over again after they've spent months and possibly years defending this game. But I have to admit, after seeing Ubisoft team up with Sweet Baby Inc. and shove diversity, equity, and inclusion down people's throats for the last few years, I do not feel sorry for them if this game fails. Not only do they not know how to take criticism, but they don't know their fan base anymore. They don't know how to treat their customers with respect. That's why they put these ridiculous patches on people who pre-order the game, ban people from their Reddits, block people on X from the official account, overcharge people, steal ideas, rewrite history, and more. It is what it is. I do hope that we see the sales number for this game come out in the next couple of weeks, or at least within that time. But in the meantime, keep lapping up those salty tears because they are a-flowing. And that is all I've got for you all in this video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't had the chance to like it and share it with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Later. Meow meow.